You're listening to Spin It, a spin on digital marketing. We are spinning the discussion about everything web, graphics, digital marketing, and much more. And we're here to help get your business's online presence back on track. Join the team as we spin it. Hey everybody, welcome back to Spin It, episode 2 of 2023. I am here, Caleb Westall, producer of Spin It. Wow, that was difficult. And digital media designer at Spin Market, and I'm joined as always by my co-hosts and co-workers. And I was asked to ask this icebreaker question. What was your favorite appetizer snack from the Super Bowl? Mackenzie.
Well, hi. I'm Mackenzie Schwenke. I am a marketing administrator here at Spin. And there's too many options. I like it all. I like the fruit pizza. I like queso dip. I like pretzel bites. I'll try it all. I can't choose.
Oh, goodness. I'm Mackenzie Schwenke, obviously the other Mackenzie. I am the project manager, graphic designer, photographer, anything and
all.
everything. Yeah.
Jack of all trades.
My favorite is usually like the taco dip. I don't know. I'm a sucker for anything tacos. So, I'm passing it on.
I am not another Mackenzie. I'm Abby. I'm a graphic and web designer here at Spin. I don't really know an appetizer at the Super Bowl. I've never been to like a Super Bowl party, so
Just like in general.
in general, I'm a fried pickle. It's pretty good.
It's always good.
I
Yeah.
agree.
Well, mine is, I'm lame. I just like chips and cookies, so
Yeah.
We need it all.
we do need it all. So we are back with another episode, obviously. Great weekend for everybody. Some of us watched the Super Bowl. Some of us did not.
Great weekend if you're the Chiefs fan.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Chiefs Kingdom, champion again. But anyway, we don't care about that in this room. So we're here today to talk to you about rebranding your logo. And should you? Should you not? Why should you? Why should you not? What should you do? What should you not do? So, Mackenzie Schwenke, kick us off.
So logos are so important. A lot of the things that are involved with the logos, you generally have like your actual what your business name is, but then there's also the icon, which is pretty much what's gonna be what everybody looks at.
Your statement piece.
Yes, that's gonna be the thing that kind of brands you as a company, not just your name. That's kind of your actual logo is what I call it. So logos. So the big thing with logos is how up to date they are. I've seen a lot of old fashioned logos that not necessarily like, I get it especially if like it's a family thing, or maybe, it's something that you've had for quite a few years. And so you really want to keep the tradition, I guess, that's a big thing. But sometimes there's a difference.
Modern
Yeah.
isn't necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah. And I think that can be done with just like a small adjustment to like your fonts and stuff.
And fonts is a huge thing.
Yeah. We were just talking about Coca-Cola and Pepsi. They're two big ones that I think about. If you look at actually what their logo looked like throughout the years, they found very iconic things that made like Pepsi, and this made Coca-Cola. But then they adjusted and tweaked it. So like Coca-Cola, their font has been like their main logo has been their logo for quite a few years. They've just slightly tweaked it as they go. And that's a big thing for them. And they keep that bright red. That's the other part of it is your colors. And that's another thing that we were talking about. But before we get into that with Pepsi, Pepsi changed their font quite a bit, actually, if you look at it. But they kept that same circle, red, white, and blue
palette.
whatever that thing is, circle thing.
Logo.
Because that was iconic for them, but they've actually changed their fonts quite a bit throughout the time. So that's definitely a big thing to look at. So that's what I would say. Point number 1, find what makes your brand stick out. Pepsi, it's the circle, obviously. Coca-Cola, it's a bright red, and it's the way that they did the font with it.
Apple, it's white.
Yes. Apple, it's that apple. So
Can't miss it.
I would definitely say find what people identify you with. And I know that it's very scary for rebranding. I've talked to people. My sister works for Duke Rentals, and they originally Duke Arial, and they had to change their font. And she was like, it was awful having to go through the rebranding. Some places it can be expensive. The bigger your company is, yeah, it can be a little bit expensive. Let's just lay it out there. That's the truth. For them, they had to put new logos on all their equipment. All of their signs had to change on their buildings. Like that stuff, it does take a little bit of money. But if you're going to rebrand, go all out right in the instant. And I think that needs to be addressed. Just because it might be a little expensive, might be a little tedious, doesn't mean you shouldn't do it.
But also waiting too long to update your logo can make you seem out of touch and like not like you're trying to find your target audience.
Yeah. And I think if you're going to rebrand it, why not have fun with it?
Yeah.
You can have like a whole rebranding event, and then people are like, oh my gosh, like obviously they're changing. Look at that cool logo.
Yeah, keeping like the suspense.
Especially if I design it. You know. I'm kidding. I just had to do that. Okay.
That's okay. Plug for Spin Market.
Yeah.
But that was a big thing. One of our clients, Wildcat Distillery, they are fantastic people. They just opened their tasting room. So if you are going through Webster City, live in Webster City, live around Webster City,
And you like whiskey.
or you're from like, Canada, and you just you're listening and you decide, hey, I'm going to come down, just fly on down. Okay. And check out their tasting room. They're about to open. Super cool on the inside. Really cool. Like honestly, it's so much fun
It
to be
looks
there.
so nice in there.
But their logo, they had done by themselves originally, and they had this wildcat in the middle of their logo, but it was very small, so it was kind of hard to see, and there was a lot of detail in it. And when we took them on as a client, I was actually able to do it. That's not trying to, be like, I did it. But we took that logo, that wildcat, and made it bigger so it stood out. And I think that that was a big game changer for their logo.
And you kept the detail on it and like what it already had. You just enhanced it.
Yeah. And if you look at the before and after of it, you can see like the components, because I tried to keep the components from like what they liked from the old one. And I just shifted it and changed it on, sizing and,
It gives me that
thickness of the line.
1970s vibe.
Yeah. The Art Deco Great Gatsby is what they kind of like have heard a lot from.
Both the old and new logo are very much Wildcat Distillery. There was no question that both logos came from the same company.
Mm-hmm.
It was just a refresh and a reorganization of it a little bit.
Yeah. It doesn't take a lot, but it can make from
it made
where
a
it was.
A huge difference.
It made it like what it is today, like what Wildcat.
And that's the thing is that I know they like the old one, but I've been at their tasting room. They've had a lot of soft openings these last 2 weekends, and they are just in love with it now. And I've overheard them talking about it with the people that have come in, and they're just like, this is just like the best. Like, we just love having it on there. So I think that it might be a little scary to rebrand, but I think you're going to be more in love with it. And other people are going to be more in love with it if you keep up with making those small adjustments too. Going into that, we were just talking about colors, and Abby was the one that mentioned it about before we even did this, about colors being super important for your brand.
Like if you do McDonald's, obviously red is very food dominant, and then green is more for, I don't know,
earthy,
earthy,
eco-friendly tends to be.
Black is more masculine.
More sometimes I think now it's kind of been more like the modern black,
it is
white.
Shifted over to the more modern aspect.
Blue tends to be, oh goodness, technology. Yeah. Blue,
I feel like blue can be honestly anything.
Blue has been, I've seen it in a lot of things. I think,
I think of like medical, I think of shopping, I think of technology.
Mm-hmm. It's pretty generic.
So I think definitely going back to like Coca-Cola and Pepsi, they have not changed their colors. Their colors have stayed the exact same. And so you could see the red. That's what I like about, if you look at billboards, I think that like kind of shows you, kind of emphasize what we're talking about. Because like Apple, they don't need to put Apple on it. They just have to put their icon.
You definitely know it from the Apple.
Yeah. Or
I think of Reese's, like the orange.
Yeah.
Like
they follow a specific color. They follow a specific style. So they don't even need to put their logo on it. And you're like, Apple, Reese's, Coca-Cola, you know.
Yeah.
Oh,
so that's a big thing.
Last night I was watching the Super Bowl and they kept promoting the Apple Music halftime show, and the whole, like 2 or 3 years ago, it was sponsored by Pepsi, so it was all bright blue, red. Their ad was black and white. Everything was black and white about it, and you knew before they said it's sponsored by Apple Music, it was sponsored by Apple Music. Like it was so recognizable to their brand.
Well, and that goes with the colors too. Like Apple is a very modern logo, so they stuck with the black and the white, which comes back to like that whole circle of it being modern.
And I think also if you do the logo right, you don't have to make that big of changes going into it further on. Apple, I mean, they went simple. So really, there's not a whole lot of changes that they have to do. I think for changes for them, it'd be more of changing the font for Apple. But I think, especially colors. Colors are such a big thing. I see so many different colors. And some people that follow the same colors as other people in the same business. I think that's a good word for it. So like, I mean, especially look at your competitors. If they're all having red as your colors, you might want to like think about changing the colors. I mean, that's just my point of view, but otherwise you're just blending in with everybody else. And that's not what you're wanting to do as a business. You want to stand out. You want to make a difference. So why not add some tweaks? I mean, maybe you keep the red, but you add another color. You know, just try it out. I think definitely just go for it. That's a big thing. It's worth it.
Now, where can they go if they don't know what to do with their logo or how to change it or get advice?
That was such a smooth
That was
plug.
really smooth.
Did anybody else like just how smooth that?
I know.
Okay, so we have 2 great graphic designers to answer your question, and I'm not one of them.
way.
But I mean, I don't know if you know anybody, but I know a couple good graphic
Oh,
designers.
yeah. It kind of feels like familiar. Like she has the same name or somebody starts with an A. Abigail?
You
Abby?
did not just call her
Okay,
Abigail.
if you haven't gotten the hint yet, we can help you. So we have 2 great graphic designers here at Spin, Mackenzie and Abby, that could
Abby
give you
kills it.
Yeah, they both do. So they could design you a great new logo that keeps your business, your logo up to date, but also it keeps your business feeling like your business. So that was a very smooth plug by
and I
Mackenzie
think just to throw this out here, I think also if you're like worried about it, or maybe there's a specific direction you want to go with it, come with ideas to us and we can generally work with it. Like I had one client that I can think of that he had specific ideas on what he wanted, and he was like, I really like this where they use a letter from their logo and then, you know, make it into an icon or whatever. And you just took, you know, you could kind of tell based off of like the couple ideas that he had. He was like, I really like this style. And you're like, okay, I kind of know what way you're wanting to go with this.
Exactly. It's open communication.
Yeah. And Abby and I would say we do a really good job of working together. So it's not just like one of us doing it the whole time. Like we're generally always bouncing ideas off each other. Like, hey, what do you think of this? What would you change about this? So definitely hit us up. Like I like doing logos. I used to actually hate doing logos. That's the funniest thing. They were like my least favorite thing to do, but now I love doing it. It's so
You
much
went on
fun.
this little like 6-month period last year where you like, that's all you did.
Yeah.
If you need a logo done, if you need help with rebranding, definitely hit us up. We're willing to work with you to make it fit what you are looking for as a client, as a business, and how we can help you stand out from everybody else. So definitely hit us up. And Caleb's going to give us our information because he's like has this memorized down to a T.
Yes. So if you need a logo, contact Spin Market. That's SPINMARKKET. If you put it into Google with 1K, it may not come up right away. But you can email us at digitalagent@spinmarket.com or call us 515-302-8026. And then follow all of us on social media. I know Mackenzie Schwenke. What's your social media?
Mine is Swanky Artistry. Instagram, Facebook. Follow me. The other good thing about this, I just want to put this out there, is on our website on spinmarket.com with 2 Ks. We have our portfolios on there linked in through who we are. So definitely check those out because that'll show you kind of like our style, I guess. I think Abby and I in some ways have the same style, but I think we differentiate a little bit. So it's kind of cool to see the different styles that we have.
The Spin Market website itself has a portfolio of all the clients that we've done their logos to.
Yeah,
so.
it does.
Yep. So Abby, you can find her stuff on the website. Like Mackenzie said, no social media currently, but follow me at CJ9 Design. Any of my work that I do mostly like video and stuff like video work, website work, not really any graphic design. And then my portfolio as well is on Spin Market website. And yeah, that's all of our work. So make sure you come back next week as we'll be talking about websites and how to rebrand your website without completely changing who you are. And thank you for listening to this week's episode of Spin It.
Thanks for listening to the Spin It Podcast.
Make sure you check out our brand new website at www.spinmarket.com. That's www.spinmarket.com.
And follow us on social media at Spin Market to keep up to date with all that's happening.
If you'd like to sponsor an episode of the Spin It podcast, fill out the form on our website, www.spinmarket.com.
And make sure you like, share, and subscribe to our podcast and YouTube channels so you never miss an episode.
Thanks for joining us on this week's episode of Spin It.